Lars Mittank was an ordinary young man with an unremarkable life, until it turned into one of the internet's most haunting mysteries. A 28-year-old from Itzehoe, Germany, Lars wasn't a thrill-seeker or a conspiracy theorist. He loved football, especially Werder Bremen, enjoyed spending time with his close-knit circle of friends, and had a steady job as a technician. In many ways, he was just like anyone else. In late June 2014, Lars and his friends traveled to Varna, a Bulgarian beach town known for its cheap drinks, golden sands, and vibrant nightlife. It was meant to be a relaxing holiday, a few days of sun, soccer, and sea before returning to the routines of everyday life. For the first few days, everything went according to plan. Lars swam in the Black Sea, laughed over local beer, and blended seamlessly into the carefree energy of summer tourists. But on June 30th, something shifted. That night, Lars got into a brief argument outside a fast food restaurant. Some accounts say it involved football, possibly a disagreement with rival fans. A scuffle broke out, though it didn't seem serious at the time. Lars walked away with only minor complaints, a sore ear and a bruised ego. Concerned about the pain in his ear, he visited a local doctor the next day. The diagnosis: a ruptured eardrum. It wasn't life-threatening, but the physician was clear: Lars should not fly. He was prescribed a strong antibiotic called cefuroxime and advised to rest for a few more days. His friends were scheduled to fly back to Germany, and despite their concern, Lars insisted they go ahead. He would stay behind alone, recover, and follow them home once cleared to travel. They agreed, trusting that a few extra days in Varna would be uneventful. Lars checked into a budget hotel near the airport called Hotel Color, a small, brightly painted building not far from the city's edge. He texted his mother, Sandra, assuring her that everything was fine. But what seemed like a minor setback, a delay of a few days, would mark the beginning of a descent into something far more disturbing. Unknown to everyone, Lars Mittank's world was beginning to unravel. He was now alone, injured, and in a foreign country. But that wasn't the problem. It wasn't the physical pain, or the missed flight, or even the fight that came before. It was what came next: the strange phone calls, the paranoia, the desperate pleas. The calm before the storm was over. And whatever had started in Varna that week had begun to pull Lars into the shadows. What happened to him, and why, still remains a chilling mystery. The next 48 hours would change everything. Hotel Color wasn't much, a cheap, no-frills spot mostly used by budget travelers passing through. Lars checked in quietly. Alone. The receptionist remembered him as polite, but off. His eyes darted around the lobby. He seemed agitated, like someone who was waiting for something, or someone, to walk through the door. That first night, things turned bizarre. Staff reported that Lars was restless. He kept peeking through the hallway window, pacing in the lobby, then returning to his room. At one point, he abruptly left the hotel, only to return a short while later, whispering to someone on the phone in hushed tones. The conversation, from what little they heard, sounded fearful. Then came the call to his mother. Around midnight, Sandra Mittank's phone rang. It was her son, whispering, frantic. His voice trembled. "I don't feel safe. There are people following me. I don't know what they want. Cancel my credit cards, please." Sandra was stunned. She asked questions, begged for details. But Lars only repeated that he was being watched. That someone, or something, was after him. Then he hung up. Back in Varna, Lars didn't sleep. Instead, he checked out of the hotel before dawn. He told the receptionist, "I have to go. I'm not safe here." With that, he vanished into the early morning haze. No one knows exactly where he went for the next 24 hours. Locals later claimed to have seen him wandering through parks, side streets, even hiding in bushes. At one point, he reportedly told a passerby he needed a place to hide. By July 8th, Lars reappeared, disheveled, exhausted, at the Varna airport. His return should have been a relief. He had his ticket, his bag, and a flight scheduled home. Security cameras show him walking calmly through the terminal. He even stopped at the Lufthansa desk and checked in. But even then, something wasn't right. Before boarding, Lars visited the airport's medical office for clearance to fly. The same ear injury still lingered. The doctor began her examination while Lars sat silently, nervous. Then, the door opened. A construction worker, possibly doing repairs nearby, stepped into the room. In that instant, everything unraveled. Lars's eyes widened. He stood up abruptly, muttering something under his breath. Witnesses later recalled his words. "I don't want to die here." And then he bolted. He sprinted out of the medical office without his luggage. No wallet. No passport. No phone. Just raw panic. The airport's security cameras would capture what happened next. Footage that would stun millions. A final, frantic dash into the unknown, and into the shadows of digital folklore. Lars Mittank didn't just disappear. He ran from something. But what? The answer was waiting on the other side of that exit. The footage begins with a blur of motion. Lars Mittank bursts through the airport clinic's doorway, his backpack abandoned behind him. There is no hesitation, no pause to look back, just a full sprint, as though his life depends on it. The CCTV cameras catch everything. He races through the terminal hallway, pushing past confused passengers and startled staff. His stride is wide, desperate, animalistic. Security guards glance up, but no one reacts quickly enough. Within seconds, Lars is outside. The doors swing open. He darts across the parking lot, then disappears behind a row of vehicles. Another camera catches him moments later, still running, still not looking back, leaping over a fence at the airport's edge. Beyond that? Nothing. Just an overgrown field and a dense line of trees. A patch of wilderness that borders the Varna airport. Lars runs into it. And then, the trail ends. No camera follows him into the forest. No bystander stops him. No one gives chase. And no one has seen him since. This moment, this brief, frantic escape, is what makes the Lars Mittank case so chilling. Because it's not just a disappearance. It's a flight from something. Something invisible. Unseen. Unknown. The footage would go viral weeks later, spreading across forums, YouTube channels, and true crime communities. People were captivated. Obsessed. Millions watched the clip on loop, analyzing every frame. Why was he running? Who, or what, was he afraid of? Was it a genuine threat, just out of frame? Or was the fear inside his own mind? Back inside the clinic, his belongings remained untouched, his ID, credit cards, luggage, all left behind. If he had planned to disappear intentionally, why leave behind the essentials? Why make it harder to survive? Bulgarian police launched a search of the surrounding area. Dogs were brought in. Local residents were interviewed. Helicopters combed the forest. But not a single trace of Lars was found. No clothing. No footprints. No body. Just silence. The Varna airport became a symbol, the last known place where Lars Mittank existed in the public record. The footage became an icon of internet mystery, real, raw, and utterly without resolution. His family was devastated. His mother, Sandra, issued emotional pleas on television and online. She begged for information, hoping her son might be lost, confused, living under a new identity. Or maybe being held somewhere, alive but unable to reach out. But as the days turned to months, and the months to years, no new clues emerged. Lars's final run remains frozen in time. Captured in pixels. Played on repeat. And still offering no answers. The man in the yellow shirt, sprinting into nowhere, became more than just a missing person. He became a legend of digital folklore, a symbol of how quickly an ordinary life can vanish into mystery. After Lars vanished into the trees near Varna airport, the world was left with a haunting question. What happened to him? Theories poured in. Some were rational. Others were chilling. But none had proof. Theory 1: Adverse drug reaction. Lars had been prescribed cefuroxime, a strong antibiotic. While generally safe, in rare cases it's been linked to neuropsychiatric side effects, hallucinations, paranoia, even acute psychosis. If Lars had an unknown sensitivity or took too high a dose, could the drug have pushed his mind into a spiral? It might explain the sudden fear, the whispers, the feeling of being followed. Theory 2. A mental health crisis. Lars had no known history of psychological illness. But many mental disorders, including schizophrenia, can emerge suddenly in a person's 20s. Especially under stress. Alone in a foreign country, injured, and possibly sleep-deprived, Lars may have experienced his first severe episode. If that's true, then what we see in the CCTV footage isn't a man fleeing from danger, but from his own mind. Theory 3. Foul play. Others aren't so quick to dismiss his fear. What if Lars was right? What if someone was after him? Some speculate he saw something, or got involved in something, during his stay in Varna. An overheard conversation? A criminal deal gone wrong? A misunderstanding that turned deadly? Supporters of this theory point to his urgent call to his mother, his hotel behavior, and the way he ran, not aimlessly, but as if he had a destination in mind. Theory 4. Voluntary disappearance. A darker possibility. What if Lars chose to disappear? Maybe he wanted to leave his life behind. Escape debts. Start over. Vanish. But if that were the case, why leave his passport? His money? His phone? Disappearing isn't easy, especially without essentials. And more importantly, why run? Despite global attention, Lars has never been found. Over the years, there have been reported sightings, from Canada to Brazil, but none were confirmed. Every promising lead ended in silence. His mother still hopes. She's made public appeals, hired private investigators, even built websites in his name. Her message is always the same. Lars, if you're alive, please come home. We love you. But there has never been a reply. The legacy. Today, the Lars Mittank case stands as one of the internet's most disturbing modern mysteries. A real person. A real disappearance. No conspiracy required. Just one man. One moment. And a final run that's still looping on screens around the world. Sometimes, the most terrifying stories aren't fiction. They don't come with monsters or ghosts. They come with unanswered questions. And a man in a yellow shirt, running into the unknown.